Feeling worthy and content with life itself is something that far too few people know the feeling of. I feel like it's something that is spoken too little of. I've never known it mentioned in schools, and if anything, schools make it completely worse. The world at the moment caters for ambitious people, and ambitious in terms of making money, buying possessions, and doing things that make other people think more highly of you. Alexa, what's the definition of worthy?
As an adjective, worthy is usually defined as having adequate or great merit, character, or value. As a noun, worthy is usually defined
Alexa,
as
that's enough, thank you.
anytime. Have a good Tuesday.
In schools from day one, we're graded academically, which shapes and carves our friendship groups and how we're seen and treated by teachers and our friends' parents and even our own parents. Let's just take a moment to think about how unnatural the process of school is. The hidden learning disabilities that so many children have but are still put into a system that wants one thing: to see how good you are at its game. Which is fine. The way the world is, it wants to create a certain person. But people will be left behind in that system. People will never be able to reach their potential in that system. People will always feel in competition to be something more. And people will have not learned the most fundamental of things. That it's okay for them to be here. That they're deserving of life. If we are going to take people away from their instinctual calling of protecting their family, foraging for food and making things with their bare hands, then we should at least explain to them that an education and capitalist work system is not exactly normal or natural. So they're likely to feel some disconnection and confusion, and that's normal. These mushrooms are like the size of my face. As an example of stunted creativity and working for a system, I'll talk quickly about one of my experiences at uni. During one of the most important parts of my final year, I was told that if you had to use a voiceover to tell a story, then you weren't very good at telling a story, and it was really frowned upon in the script writing and film world. Cut to Scorsese's films. I always wanted to make a short film with a voiceover in. It's what I enjoyed watching myself. I loved how engaging and personal it felt, but I listened to my lecturer and performed at a lower level than I should have done. I know they were operating from a place where they had been taught themselves, but not only did it undermine how I wanted to tell my story, it affected my grade and stunted my creative growth. I understand what you might be thinking. I'd probably be thinking the same thing. You should be able to make your own decisions and overrule. But when the advice comes from a hierarchical place of perceived more intellectual power, people tend to listen. And yes, I've learnt from this experience, but my experience could have been better if the education system hadn't intervened and tried to shape me into a certain type. A type that I was less able to adapt to, and therefore underachieved, feeling less important to the system, and therefore less worthy of life. So you are worthy of life. Although we're put into systems that make that naturally feel unreachable, it is okay for you to be here. You're allowed to feel at home and at peace in this world. And I feel that if it's explained and felt early that we're enough, as so many people who have everything feel as though they're not, it will not cause people to give up trying to be better, but instead invigorate people to explore things, not to be something more, not to please boxes, but to wholeheartedly exist and feel worthy doing it. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, drop a comment down below, click the thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you super soon. Take care, bye bye.